guys, I'm back, the Rich Dragon Master, and I got another story for you guys. Bang bang! Uh, so basically, the story is another one from Minnesota, and it's basically one of the many, many experiences I've had. Uh, so, back in Minnesota, right? I lived near the Mall of America, and for those of you who don't know, the Mall of America is the biggest mall in America, and it's located in Minneapolis, which is, as a young kid, kind of confused me. Like, why wouldn't you have the biggest thing in the world, not the world, in America, being the at least capital? Oh, cool, more graphics. Cool. Uh, but once I came to realize it kind of made sense to have it in Minneapolis. I won't get into that, but and basically, the Mall of America, the Mall of America is just kind of really big, right? Like, if you're going there for the first time, you're gonna be overwhelmed. You're just gonna be like, I don't know anything about this place. And that was like me when I first realized how big the mall was and how many stores were there. But once you lived there for about, I don't know, about 14, 13 years, you start to realize, like, yeah, it's a big mall, but there's not a whole lot to do in there. Like, there's a theme park, but it's not really awesome. And yeah, there's like a movie theater, but it is expensive. Like, a lot of people think, oh, you have all, what? How could it be bad? It has all this cool stuff. But some people don't realize, with all that cool stuff, it's gonna be expensive. Like, the popcorn there, it's like $10 for the largest. And you could say, buy the small. Well, no, I don't want to buy the small. Forget that. I guess anyways. So, but in the lowermost level, because there's the bottom level of, like, the market area of the mall, but then there's a basement, and that's where the buses and, like, the metro and trains would go through, and that's what I would take to get there, and it was fine. Like, the train was nice and quiet. No one ever really played it too loud. Played music too loud. It was a nice, relaxing ride, and you got to where you need to go. It was pretty cool. Uh, but every time I would be on the train or the bus or anything, you could find a phone. Like 7 times out of 10, you would find a phone on that method of transportation. Like, no joke. People would lose their phones on the bus or the train. And once you lose your phone on that stuff, you're not getting it back. I can tell you that with utmost certainty. Like, you might say, well, some people will be nice and turn it in. No. No one's going to be nice. Like, no one's going to be nice and be like, oh, I better find whose phone this belongs to. If your phone is decent, you're not getting it back. Like, I found a really good iPod and an iPhone on that train, and I factory reset them. So I owned them. I switched to an iPhone 4, which has it's gotten me by, but it's fine. And and yeah, like people would lose them all the time, and it was even worse in like the actual area where the buses and trains would go because people are like coming and going so fast. So it's like, where's my stuff? Gotta grab it quick. So you'd grab it quick, and it'd just be like really hard to keep track of things. So when you got home, you noticed something was missing. You can't go back and get it because probably someone either found it or it got crushed. So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind if you ever go to Minneapolis and you happen to lose your phone. Like, a lot of the time, you're not getting it back. Uh, what's and another funny thing is that in the actual mall itself, there are a lot of attractions. Like I mentioned, there's a theme park and a movie theater, but there's also a Legoland, right? But the Legoland there, compared to any other Legoland, is the worst. Like, you get your standard set. Like, you can buy sets there and stuff. But it is the worst. Like, like, when I went there as a kid, they used to have this little, like, these little, baskets all over in a playground, right? And they were filled with Lego parts, like wheels and stuff, so you'd build your own little car, right? And then you would and after you build your car, you could take it to these little, downward ramp, and you could race it with other people, and it was really fun, right? But after a while, they got rid of it for, like, no reason, and they didn't replace it with anything. Well, they replaced it with more tables with Legos or whatever, but like they got rid of it one day when I went there. I was like, I'm gonna go to Legoland and build a car and race it with other people. And like I go there, and I'm looking around trying to find the downward ramp, right? And I'm like, and I can't find it. I'm like, wait, where did it go? I remember someone telling me like, yeah, oh, they got rid of it. And I was basically like, and it was just the worst. Legoland sucked after that, man. I hated it. Another thing that sucks about that is another experience, because we're running out of time. So in the Mall of America, there are two GameStops, right? And you might be like, well, you might be either proposition. You might be like, oh, that's stupid. Why would you need two? Or you might be like, well, that's awesome because one's probably bigger than the other. Yes, one is bigger than the other, but that also means if one doesn't have something, you have to walk, like, take a 5 or 2 minute walk to get to that other GameStop to see if they have it. And the first GameStop will usually call them and be like, hey, do you have this and this? And if that happens, they'll usually say yes, and if they don't, you'll just have to go to a GameStop in, like, St. Paul or something. But I remember going there, and I was going to buy a game for the 360, I believe. And I asked him, and it was a moderately popular game. I can't remember what it was, though. But the guy goes in back to check if they have it, and he says, "No, we don't have it." And my parent asks, like, "Well, does the other place have it?" And they're like, and the guy was like, "Let me call him." He says, "Yeah, you're gonna have to walk. Yeah, they have it. They got it." So we had to walk all the way. Like, we had to take an escalator, then walk around for about a minute or two. It's just bad. There's a lot of inconvenient. With all the conveniences the Mall of America has, there's also a lot of inconveniences. But anyways, I'm gonna end it here. So, next time on Game Dev Tycoon, will we get our $2 million back? Who knows? You'll just have to watch to find out. Bye-bye.